Yo, 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 welcome to another episode of the Real Spill Sports Podcast. I'm your boy, Big Nate, joined by Coach Taylor. Coach Taylor, what's happening?
Man, let's get to it. I got a lot to unload today.
Also joining us today is a friend of mine, known the guy for a few years. We used to work together, big sports guy, knows his NFL shit. Coach Rob, how you doing today?
What's poppin', big homie? You know what I'm here for.
I know what you're here for. We're going to get into it. All right. So currently, as we are recording this, the NBA play-in has started. Cleveland and Atlanta are playing right now. Jared Allen didn't look like he was going to play. Looks like he is playing tonight. With Jared Allen playing, I like Cleveland because when they're healthy, they've been all year one of the better defensive teams in the league. They're tough. They got a lot of talent. They can go deep and they can go big. They start 3 7-footers. Mm-hmm. So I like Cleveland in that game to pull it out. Trey has been unbelievable this year, as everybody knows. Coach Taylor, go ahead and give your inputs on that, and then we'll toss it down to Coach Rob. What do you think about that matchup right there?
Cleveland, Atlanta?
Yeah.
I love Atlanta. Let me take that back. I don't love Atlanta. I love Trae Young. You know how I feel about Trae Young.
Right.
He's today's NBA. He's like a, mini Steph Curry, Still got some growing to do in his game. So I really like the experience that they have from last season. I really like the hunger and stuff that they have. Man, so, I would pick Atlanta to win this game. That's how I feel about it.
Okay. Coach Rob, how do you feel about this series? Well, not this series, but this play-in game.
Yeah, I really like Atlanta too. Atlanta's super young. They're hungry. Trey is a second half player, though. We know that when the light gets the brightest, that's when Trey gets the coldest. I think they might, fourth quarter, 5 minutes left. I think he might have to show out a little bit, but they got to do it now because it's halftime. So they got to come out now, third quarter, get a run, or else them Cavs might send them home.
Now, where I would go with y'all with Atlanta is if it was a series, because I think when it's a series and you have Trey, who is the best player on the court, I think he can win you a game or two in a series that can swing it. And I would probably go with them in the series. Now, given the fact that it's not a series and it's a one-game win-all, and not to be slept on, Darius Garland has been balling. Like, sure. He's dropping 30 balls and, double-digit assists on the regular too. You know what I mean? So, he can have a night where you see him either match Trey or maybe even play better than Trey. That's not out of the realm of possibility. So,
right.
With a one-game play-in for it, like I said, I'm going to lean Cleveland. Now, it's easy to say that they're winning, but had we been doing it beforehand, I'd have said Cleveland, especially given that Jared Allen's playing. If Jared Allen wasn't playing, I'd say that's too much for Cleveland to overcome, and I would have went with Atlanta. But the other game we got tonight is the Clippers and New Orleans. Now, Coach Taylor, I know you got a lot to say about this particular playing game, so I'm going to go ahead and let you get your shit off. Go ahead and say what you got to say.
Okay. I'm going to say it like this. New Orleans is going to win, and here's why. Classic fucking Paul George. The guy disappears all the time when you need him. It was the bubble. It was subpar play last year trying to fill in for Kawhi because it was too much pressure. Now the guy comes back, right? Give him kudos. He comes back. And then for some lo and behold reason, this guy who's been playing the NBA for 12 years now, can't be smart enough to not go fucking catch COVID on the biggest night of the season? Like, come on, dog. Lock yourself in the locker room of the arena because it's a home game. Do whatever you got to do to give us a positive test so maybe you can give us some positive play so we can stay off your soft ass. But he just couldn't do that. He just couldn't help but throw himself under the bus, and yet it'll be another excuse. Oh, I had COVID. I was in the team protocols. I was in the bubble. I was depressed. I don't like red. I don't like yellow. I mean, the guy is just fucking soft, man. Like, there's just no getting around it, man. Playoff P my fucking ass. When the playoffs come around, this guy is gonna disappear faster than fucking Houdini. Period. Even if he's out there, He gonna be over there holding his fucking dick in the corner, not doing shit but missing shots and blame it on his mood, his temperament. I need some Adderall. I need some Zoloft. I'm depressed. All right, buddy. All right, sounds good. Pelicans win tonight because once again, playoff P lets the fucking Clippers down yet again. But don't forget, he came back to LA to help restore the glory to Clippers. He's yet to do that. And you know what the best thing about this is? Kawhi's been hurt. So, dog, when you talk that who's the best player, is it your team? Is it my team? As a competitor, Nate, you're my boy, but if we on a team, I'm like, man, Nate's my guy, but this is my team, right? And so if you step out the lineup, I get to take over. I should relish those moments if I'm a true fucking competitor. But the problem with Paul George is he's not. He's 6'9", he's a shooting guard. Let that sink in. He's 6'9", he's a shooting guard because when he was younger, he was too fucking soft and weak to do anything up front, and he didn't want to get his fucking hands dirty. So let's just call it what it is. Moving along.
Coach Ron, you go ahead and I'll let you follow that up.
Hey, first off, Coach Taylor, I'm disappointed that you coming out Black man and mental health, man. You know that shit's serious. That shit hampers a lot of people. Look at Calvin Ridley. Look at Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley just got suspended for a year for gambling. And he tried to blame that on mental health too. But hey, when you cashing in like that, you should be straight. Anyway, I got the Clippers winning tonight because they're experienced, because they have an experienced coach, because I know, you got this thing about Paul George, but like Paul George is still a walking bucket. I mean, let's not act like he can't drop 35 tonight and get them by. I mean, it's just one game for a series.
Play tonight. He's not playing.
He's not playing tonight.
He's not playing.
He's gone.
Oh yeah,
So he won't be dropping 35 tonight.
He's dropping 30. He's dropping 35 on the Uber to get back to where he's from. But hey, look, I think I'm gonna still go with the Clippers only because I feel like it's gonna come down to who's the better coach, and I think New Orleans I think they're traumatized, bro. Like, I think Zion has traumatized the Pelicans. Like, they don't believe anything good can happen for them. Like, they're barely in this play-in shit, and that's because the Lakers were fucking trash this year. That's the reason why the Pelicans are where they're at right now. And I just think that they're too young. I think Zion is fucking atrociously fucking, like, made that franchise a fucking joke, because I think it's a joke right now. But they still got some nice pieces, but I just don't think the Clippers are going to go out like that. Not with the coach that they have. And I mean, it is the Clippers, but I just think that their coach is going to help them win this one game tonight.
That's a good point you bring up with the coach. Ty Lue definitely has a lot of experience, playoff experience. The Clippers have players that have tested. I mean, Reggie Jackson is battle tested, Batum and, Zubac, so it wouldn't surprise me even without Paul George if they win this game. But where I'm going to disagree with you is I think the Zion thing has powered the Pelicans, because ever since they made that trade, they have played so much better and have a purpose to play for. It's like, okay, if we're going to bring in CJ McCollum, we're bringing him in because we believe that this team can be competitive with or without Zion. And they have been. They've been a really good team.
Yep.
Maybe not really good, but they played a lot better since they made that trade. And I think CJ has a big point to prove, given that he's always been in the shadow of Dame. And now this is kind of, especially with Zion being out, this is kind of his time to shine and lead that team. You see he dropped 30 on who was that the other night they played San Antonio. B.I. has played really, really well. Valanciunas has played really, really well all year. So I think given that PG is out, I like Willie Green. He seems like a really good up-and-coming coach. Herb Jones gives niggas fits on the defensive end as a rookie. He's one of the better defensive players already in the league. I think with the momentum, I'm gonna ride with New Orleans, and they're gonna get it done tonight.
But let me ask you this about CJ though, because I love CJ, and to be honest with you, I think that Portland probably should have traded Dame. That's kind of one of my wild takes, but I just don't think Dame's style of play is gonna win you a championship, kind of like Harden. But I think CJ's can. So if he doesn't get this done tonight, do you think the Trailblazers are like, oh yeah, then we're straight because he can't even get it done by himself? And I know that's kind of what he wanted.
No, because I think you have to give CJ a full year with that team. Like if that team had CJ all year, you're obviously talking about a different team compared, because you got to remember they started I think 1-9, and then it was like 3-16 at one point.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they obviously turned it around to get to the point where they're at.
Yeah.
So I think and I also think the other thing that's helping CJ is they're playing him at point.
Mm-hmm.
And he's always played off the ball with Dame. So I think it's better for him playing that point, and, you know, he can run it a little more. So I like New Orleans in that, you know, and then, you know, obviously whoever wins that series, in my opinion, is sheep to the slaughter for Phoenix anyway. But that'll bring us into the next topic is.
Before we get off this topic, I'd like to just say one thing that I didn't say because I was so passionately adamant. New Orleans, to me, has to win this game because New Orleans, to me, is on trial right now. They have to convince Zion why he should stay and why he should abandon the whole big market mythology. If they can't go and win in LA tonight, I'm telling you right now, Zion will keep throwing a little hissy fit and he'll find a way to get up out of there. End of story.
Yeah. Throw your fit, you fat fuck. Throw your fit and go somewhere else, you fat bitch. Like, I really hate Zion. Like, I hate him. Like, I really hate him, bro. Like, you were the biggest high school player prospect since LeBron James, bro. And you haven't even played 100 games in the NBA, bro. You spend all your time on the sideline, eating, sleeping, because you're fat and out of shape. And you're rich, so you don't even really care, bro. You have all these endorsements, Xbox, Nike, whatever the fuck. You're fat. You don't care about the Pelicans because they're the Pelicans. Look at, bro, Brandon Ingram didn't want to leave the Lakers, bro. Like, none of them dudes wanted to leave the Lakers, but they're making the best out of the situation. Zion is fat. He doesn't work out. They showed him doing a dunk the other day, and the nigga looked as fat as he's ever been. He's always gonna have boosts.
You know what makes that
300
video,
pounds.
You know what makes that video even more impressive is the fact that you just said that, and that motherfucker did that shit still with the easiest of ease.
Now
like,
imagine if he was in shape though.
And I agree with you because I think Shannon Sharp says he's at least 300 pounds in that video, and if it's true that he's at 300. I think he needs to get down to 270, 260. Yeah. And really, you know, at 6'6", 6'7", if he could get down to like, if he was at like his high school, like if you look at him in high school, if he was like, which is scary because you're comparing him to his size when he was at high school for the league. And he would still be a man amongst a lot of boys in the league at 260, 270, doing whatever he wants. So I think I don't know if everything that you hear about Zion is directly Zion's opinion. I think he gets a lot of bad advice. I think his stepdad is giving him some wrong shit, and he's just following what people tell him. And I really hope that, you know, he turns it around because, like I said, they're saying he might be the first guy to turn down that rookie max extension. And if that's the case, you got to look to trading that motherfucker immediately, you know what I'm saying, in the offseason. But he's definitely got to drop down. If it ain't nothing but get down to 285, 280, you know what I'm saying, I think he needs to go to 260, 270. But when he plays, he's a monster. There's no denying that.
Exactly. He's a monster, and it's not his fault, Coach Rob. You know whose fault it is? It's your fault. It's my fault. It's Nate's fault. It's everyone's fault because we've been glorifying this fucking kid since he was 15 years old, posterizing them little white boys in that little Christian league. And we put him on his fucking pedestal. So how do you expect the dude to act? Because we've been telling him, oh my God, he's this. Oh my God. Then when he went to Duke, me and they were like, I don't think that's going to work. He ain't got enough skills. He made Duke what they were because RJ Barrett was too soft to be the man. And so we were like, damn, he's really good. Then he got to New Orleans. Me and they still were like, I don't know. He was the best thing out there on the court, man. So guess what? He got a right to feel how he want to feel. And today's age is about the players. He got a right to be where he want to be. If he feel like New Orleans is too small or it's not contributing to his well-being on or off the court, or his stepdad can't get enough love, then fuck it. Go to a big market. I ain't mad at you, big dog.
You know, I would be more on your side if the nigga was playing. If you didn't miss 400 goddamn games. Like if he played 2/3 or 3/4 of the games that that he's been eligible to play, then I would say different. But seeing that you have missed a mass amount of games and ain't contributed to either the success or the failures of that team, it's too early for me to say that it's credible that you can just say, I'm going to jump ship. Like
But
you
when
ain't
he
going
jumps
through
ship,
those
just
shit.
know he's going to be really damn good, and he's all of a sudden going to be healthy and in shape, just like when all these other players jump ship, they magically figure it out. This is what
James
today's
Harden.
athlete does.
All right.
Okay, James Harden is going to figure it out in the playoffs. I got no doubt they beat Toronto. It's going to be
Okay,
close,
well,
but they're going to get it
so
done.
that's leading into my next thing, which I was gonna say. What is your most once the seeds are set? What is your most compelling series that you think in the first round? And mine is that one is Toronto and Philly, where I really think Toronto can give them some problems, especially given that Matisse Thybulle can't play in Toronto, and he's their best perimeter defender, and Siakam has been on a tear the last month of the season, like hooping, and Harden hasn't looked like Harden since that trade. I mean, I think Toronto can legitimately give them some problems where they can potentially get them up out of here. Do y'all like the same series, or is there another series that in the first round that
Come on, man. Let's keep it real. You know we care about that Boston and Brooklyn Nets series. Don't nobody give a damn about the damn Raptors. Nobody does. That series is over. As soon as James Harden says, give me the fucking ball, get out my way, Toronto's going home. Because Kyle Siakam is soft as shit too. So that nobody cares about that. We want to see Kyrie back in the motherfucking Boston Garden, handling his business, stomping at half court over the logo, Marcus Smart demanding the ball, talking shit, cussing everybody in the huddle out. That's what we want to see, man, in the first round. Let's just get right to it. I got the Nets in 7. Let's get it.
I agree. I wanted to say something about Toronto and Philly. I think that's a sweep, though. I think Joel Embiid, there's nobody stopping. There's nobody stopping him, bro. I'm sorry. Like, I like Pascal too, but he's a finesse guy and he's gonna get to the bucket. But he might really have to be like tough, like Coach Taylor is saying, like not soft. Because if you're driving, you gotta face Embiid every single time. I just don't think there's anybody. I don't think there's anybody. I don't think they can match their energy, bro. Because when Maxey gets going, bro, it's like Philly is a fucking. It's like a fucking a fucking cult of people. Just they go fucking nuts, bro. Like Maxey, X factor to me, but no one's stopping Embiid. And that's why I think they're gonna get swept, bro.
Yeah. I definitely don't see no sweep. Like I said, Van Fleet is. You want to talk about tough? That's a tough motherfucker right there, man.
Oh, so he's gonna play. So he's gonna
Norman
guard
Norman Powell is not Norman Powell, but I'm sorry, my man Gabe Trent is nice.
Oh, so he's gonna guard.
And then another motherfucker they have, I said, is Scotty Barnes. Now, if you think
Embiid, I like Scotty Barnes. I do like Scotty Barnes.
Is going to just carry them to a sweep and without James Harden doing what he can do, and he hasn't played like he's been playing, you're crazy. I don't think that's a sweep at all. I think if that series goes 6. Now I would pick Philly to win, but then I sweep in Toronto. No way in hell.
I'd like to say
the Raptors too. Where are they going to win them at? Both in Toronto.
I think they can still win in Philly.
No, that's not happening.
Okay, well we'll see.
We'll see.
History tells us because we're forgetting about the X factor in this whole series. It's Doc Rivers. History tells us that Philly will go up 3-1 and Doc will blow the lead and it'll become a 7-game series. History tells us that's what will probably happen. Is that Philly will go up like 2-0. Be on the brink of going up 3-0, maybe be up 15 in the third quarter, and all of a sudden blow that game, and now it's a close series. That's what probably happens in this series. Because Doc Rivers couldn't coach himself out of a phone booth.
I mean, you want to talk about coaching? Nick
Nurse
don't have to have that discussion.
But let's be real. Nick Nurse wants to lose as soon as he can, so he can go to Hollywood. Let's be real. Don't
say that.
Let's be real.
Okay, well, y'all both brought up. I mean, you brought up the Boston series. Well, I mean, there's the obvious with Kyrie and KD, but you say Brooklyn in 7.
Yeah,
right.
Sure.
Okay,
yeah. I got to ride with the tandem of KD and Kyrie is more powerful than the tandem of Brown and Tatum, even though I think Tatum has taken a lot of good steps. Access Brown, don't get me wrong.
Me too.
But guards win you games, man. And Kyrie is the ultimate guard. You know what I mean? I mean, Kyrie to me is the realest NBA player maybe in history. The dude stood on what he believed on as far as the vaccination. He's standing on it again with Ramadan. Kyrie didn't fold or bend for the NBA. The Nets had to bend and fold for him and make him a part-time player. And then the mayor of New York City had to realize, I might not get re-voted in if I don't get this dude in for home games. Kyrie is the realest dude they got in the NBA, man. He really is the Malcolm X of the NBA. So when you got that much power on your side and that much conviction in yourself as a man, forget a basketball player, but as a man, I gotta ride with you, dog. And I believe he gets the job done.
Yeah, I can't fight that. I agree with all that. He do.
Like I said, I
be saying
fall.
some wild shit though.
But he stands on it.
Yeah, he does stand up. Like I said, I've said it
Unlike
before,
his own counterpart.
I fall for the Celtics shit every year,
and they let you down.
And they let me down. So, like I said before we was talking before, Coach said, I said I would go right now. You held a gun to my head. I would go with Brooklyn in 7, even without Ben Simmons. Are they talking about Ben Simmons could possibly come in game 2, right? Or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Come on back, Biddy.
Like I said, even if he gave you 15 minutes, if he's healthy, if he gave you 15 minutes,
he's blocking your best defender.
Yeah, you're putting him on Tatum, and he's going to give Tatum problems. You know what I'm saying? And now somebody else got to step up. Mm-hmm. And another key that I think is what Bruce Brown was talking about is Robert Williams being out. Like, Robert Williams does a lot for them, not just defensively, but he's low-key a really good passer.
Yeah.
And he helps them out a lot. So with him being out, and you got to rely on Theis and Al Horford, who's damn near 40 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I think
you know what Bruce Brown said? We going to the rack at will.
What's that?
Bruce Brown said we going to the rack at will. They ain't got no shot blockers up there.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. Okay.
To end
the NBA, Coach Ron, you're a Laker fan.
Yeah.
Obviously, you had your wins this year. I'm giving you the GM title right now.
Yep.
You are the Lakers GM as the season ends.
Yep.
What would be your formula to fix that team?
Yeah, what the hell are you gonna do?
Well, first of all, I'm dumping every nigga on the team except LeBron James, Austin Reeves, the white boy rookie, and Malik Monk. Everybody else, get the fuck out of LA.
I like it. I like it.
Suck. Russell Westbrook, I love you. And you know what I'm saying? It's Crenshaw, whatever, that's cool. But like, bruh, you were supposed to come here and turn the fuck up. Instead, you came here on your soapbox, feeling sorry for yourself, saying, they didn't really welcome you with open arms. Coach Taylor, what did you just say? Oh, if them niggas are hurt, I'm the fucking man. How many triple doubles? You know what? Let me calm down. Please. Because you know what? It could really be about his mental health, and he could really be struggling with being back home in LA and the expectation, playing with LeBron James and all that shit.
Can't put the dress on.
So look, I understand all that. But like, bro, you're Russell Westbrook, bro. Like, you didn't play. I didn't watch one Laker game this year and say,
that's the old Russ.
That's Russell Westbrook. I saw, and he was getting mad at fans because fans are like Russell Westbrook. But nigga, when you're shooting 31% from the field, 25% from 3, and 65% from the free throw line, nigga, you were 30, 20, and 60. Then nigga, that's made up. You're trash. You need to go somewhere else. Go, you know what? Go to a place that's gonna make you feel warm. Go to a place that's gonna make you feel good about Russell Westbrook and you not having no titles. You being in the Western Conference title game or series, how many times? Twice? Like, bro, get out of here. AD, you're soft as medicated cotton. I love you too, bro, but you need to go to Chicago or wherever else you want to go.
No.
I like it. No, send that nigga to Chicago. I like it. Send that nigga to Chicago. I like it.
Nate was a Bulls-man.
As the acting GM of the Chicago Bulls, I'd hang up the phone on your black ass. I'm not even listening to your offer.
I don't think you can afford to do that, man.
I
don't think you can afford to do that. You about to lose Levine. You need a star. You need a star.
AD made his bed. You got to sleep in that motherfucker.
That's real.
Good luck.
So look, to finish it off, right? You know what? If AD wants to reconstruct his contract and come back on a team-friendly deal, sure, we'll have your injured ass back.
But you know, honestly, you can't do that in the NBA. You can't. You can't reconstruct.
Oh yeah, because it's guaranteed. Right.
Yeah. Supermax.
Yeah. So trade him, get him the fuck out of LA. I take Dwight Howard. I take 38-year-old Dwight Howard again over AD. And that's on everything I love because I know what Dwight's going to give me. He's not going to get hurt. and he's not gonna play soft. He's gonna go hard every single possession, the last couple games, bro, when LeBron and AD and them dudes are out. Why was he back to the old Dwight, 22 and 13? And
I don't know what it is with teams lately where they pick him up and that like he's still not capable of giving you 20 to 20. Like, and most of the times the centers who he's backing up aren't better than him, or definitively better than him, where you can say they deserve a lot more time over him. I think it's bogus how the league has done him in overall.
Oh, agreed.
He wasn't part of that 75 squad, you know what I'm saying, which makes no sense in the world.
That makes zero sense.
Oh, he should have been on there before AD. All truth
easily.
Told, you know,
but it's about finesse though, Nate. It's about these stretch fours and these stretch fives, bro. Like if you can't shoot no threes in the league like now, like teams are just like, you're a nice, 9th or 10th guy off the bench, and that's what Dwight was, bro. But I felt like whenever he was in the lineup with him and Austin Reeves, bro, their defensive rating was like the best in the NBA for, I don't know, 6 or 7 minutes, however long they're playing together. But yeah, ship everybody out, keep Malik Monk, keep Austin Reeves, THT, you can get the fuck out of LA too, because you're fucking garbage. You're fucking garbage. You're not bro, he plays like a street ball player. Like he shoots, like all of his shots are step backs. Like I've never seen that dude just shoot a spot up three. Like everything he does, like he's acrobatic all the time. The nigga don't know how to just finger roll the bitch in. Like he got to go up and under and all this other shit and miss layups.
That's that Chicago street flair. That's that Chicago street flair.
Do you actually think there's a willing trade partner who would take Russ without you giving up other compensation to get rid of Russ?
No. So you're gonna have to. You're gonna have to give up. 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 THT
another pick
and another pick. They don't have a first round pick till
2025,
2027.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to trade away everything. And that's why I said, like, we got to get this whole entire roster. Like a lot of these guys got to get out of there though. Like Jeannie Buss, I love you, but you got to get out of there because you're not.
Maybe
you got to get out of there.
Kurt
Rambis.
Yeah, it might be Rambis and Palika, but Buss has got to stay.
Yeah, the Lakers ain't the Lakers without a Buss.
That's right. I agree with that.
Then somebody else. I don't give a fuck if it's the city bus, if it's the state bus, if it's the town bus. I don't give a fuck what bus it is. They got to get her out of there. She has too much control and she doesn't know enough about, I don't want to sound sexist, but she doesn't know enough about like men. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this. Could it at all be possible that the reason you're in this situation you're in is you went to bed with LeBron, and this is just a theory. I'm not saying this is factual or not.
Oh boy.
But you went to bed with LeBron. LeBron runs the franchises he's on. It didn't work out because, like, okay, with the hypothetical you're saying, you're going to get rid of everybody and keep LeBron and, Reeves and Monk, okay? So you're keeping LeBron in year 20. He's got next year and then the year after that. So you're getting rid of your future for LeBron for 2 years because he's made it known he's leaving to go play with his son.
But what future? What future?
I mean, you would rather have, okay, let's say hypothetically, you would rather have 2 years of LeBron than maybe another 6 or 7 with AD.
Yeah.
With AD.
I mean, I'm just asking.
No. And I'm gonna answer you because you're not gonna get 6 or 7 years from AD. You're gonna get a year, you're gonna get 55 games here, then you're gonna get 35 there, then you might get 82, and then you might no.
But ain't LeBron at the point in his career where he's at the same? You're not gonna get 82 from LeBron. You're gonna get 60, and then you might get 60. You know what I'm saying?
When LeBron misses, other than 2018 when he fucked up his groin. Yeah, his groin. Other than that, LeBron has always played more than 85% of his seasons. So I'll take 85% for 2 years.
But the last 2 years, he has.
LeBron misses. He's not missing 6-7 weeks like AD, bro. He's missing a week.
That is true. But he's missing back-to-backs. He's missing, he doesn't have the ability now like he used to. I used to watch LeBron go down hard, look like the nigga should be out, and then he's back in 2 seconds dunking on somebody. He doesn't have the ability no more to suffer a mild ankle sprain and then come back the next game and do what he's always done. He's too old at this point to do that, where a whole 82-game season is not feasible for a guy that's about to be in year 20.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, as far as like, where I understand what you're saying, as far as if you're a GM, I think the Lakers have to look at it from a standpoint of their future. Where are you going to mortgage? You've already mortgaged so much of your future to get AD and to get Westbrook, where you got rid of B.I., Lonzo, all them cats that you got rid of to bring this collective in. Yep. And now you're saying, okay, now I have to take a major part of what I gave up to get, and then get rid of that too for 2 years of maybe competitive basketball. Then you have to ask yourself, okay, whoever you get in return for AD and Westbrook, are you good enough to beat Phoenix? Are you good enough to beat Golden State? Are you good enough to beat Memphis?
Yes. And then I'm gonna answer this, and then I want to hear what Coach Taylor has to say, because I have a feeling you got some shit to say about the Los Angeles fucking Lakers, right? So yes, I will take LeBron James and Austin Reeves and Malik Monk and whoever they're gonna get for AD, because they're not gonna just give us some fucking scrubs for AD.
You gotta make salaries match. So you gotta make salaries match. You gotta have substantial players.
Absolutely. And as far as free agents go, like, there can be some room out there, but like none of these old niggas.
I'll tell you, that's what you don't have is room.
Look, Trevor Ariza doesn't need to be there anymore. I'll keep what's his name? He didn't play all year.
You don't even know his name.
Johnson?
No.
Which one?
Whatever. He came from Chicago. He came from Chicago.
Stanley Johnson.
No. He's like a guard. Dunn.
Chris Dunn.
Chris Dunn, right? Who didn't play all year, right? Like, I'll take.
You're talking about Kendrick Dunn.
Kendrick Nunn.
Okay.
Kendrick Nunn. Who didn't play a single game all year long. He's 25. I mean, so if we're talking about youth and talking about getting ready for the future, they gotta give up THT to get something in return back. Maybe a pick or maybe a few rotational players. But the Lakers didn't have any depth. They were too old. Trevor Ariza, old. Carmelo, love him, old. None of these dudes play defense. The list goes on, bro. Yeah, and then you're pairing that with LeBron, and then they tried to make it cute earlier in the year, like, yeah, we're the OGs. Yeah, we got all this championship experience. Yeah, we're and you niggas were last place in every defensive category. Legit. Every defensive category, the Lakers were last. Points given up, defensive rating, all that shit. It was terrible. So I'll take LeBron in those few little pieces and then just kind of scrap our way back. But as long as you have LeBron James, I feel like you can pretty much do anything. They didn't really have him this year. They had him 65% of the time. And they had more starting lineups than they had wins. I think they had like 36 different starting lineups and 32 wins.
And send it home for us with the NBA, Coach Taylor. What do you have to finish with that?
Let's just stop dancing around it, okay? We know AD needs to go. We know who wants to come to LA, and we know who LA needs. Just make the damn trade, send AD to Portland, and go bring Dame Lillard, because it ain't his team no more. That's Simmons' team. He doesn't even like Billups as a coach, so that's fine. Bring him to LA, let him and Bron to figure out who the hell they'll respect enough to play for. Maybe it's Nick Nurse, I don't know. Whoever it is. And let's just stop dancing around the question. This dude missed a lot of games last year, and then when he was healthy, all he did was complain about, well, Billups' offense makes me move the ball. I'm not used to that. With Terry Stotts, I got to dominate the ball. Well, then why did you go crying to the media after y'all lost in the playoffs trying to get Stotts out of there? So which one do you want, Dame? Do you want a coach who lets you play your game, or do you want a coach who plays the team game? But to me, I don't care what anybody says. Ever since he heard the whole Ben Simmons thing, his attitude is soured and changed on Portland, and he's wanted out. But just like LeBron, he too soft and too passive aggressive to just tell the media, I want out. You got people speaking for me. Don't listen to them. You didn't hear me saying all that fucking Uncle Tom and shit. Just admit that you want out, dog. It's okay. That's why I respect Zion, because Zion letting you know, I don't want to fuck with you, New Orleans. He's letting you know that. And I wish more players would do the same damn thing. Just tell us that you don't want to be there so we can move on with our lives instead of you trying to act like, well, my brother said it. But it's like, well, who'd your brother get it from, bro? Your brother didn't damn NBA. So clearly he got it from you to spread the message. Like, what's going on here? Go get Dame, please. Because I want LeBron to have no excuses on why it didn't work for these last 2 years. I want him to have the point guard he wants, the coach he wants, his favorite treats before and after the game. I have his favorite wine at the end of the bench, so when they're losing, he can sip his Pinot Grigio, whatever it is he wants to sip on. I don't want no excuses at this point, LeBron. I want you to have everything you fucking want, man, because I'm tired of this passive aggressive bullshit.
All right.
Amen.
To the NFL. Coach Rob, obviously the NFL, we had a crazy offseason. Free agency, deadline, trades. I don't think I've ever seen as many trades in the NFL offseason as we saw this offseason. So you being an NFL guy, first off, give us a couple teams that you thought won in free agency and pre-draft, and a couple who you thought didn't do so well in the same, measure.
All right, so free agency winners to me was super easy because they're in the same division, and this might be the littest fucking division in football in a
AFC West.
Long time, bro. Coach Taylor, you hit it right on the head, bro. AFC West, biggest free agency winners. Now, these are my winners because not only were these some of the biggest free agency acquisitions, but they made these moves because these teams are like, fuck that, we're trying to win a championship. Denver Broncos, for one reason, Russell Wilson, period. When I looked at the Denver Broncos, bro, because I was telling Nate that, sometimes I like to go and watch just like lapsed versions of games just to watch quarterbacks because I'm just obsessed with watching quarterbacks. And when I watch Russell Wilson, bro, I just see somebody that has almost never been put as a priority. Like DK Metcalf is the only guy that the Seahawks were like, yeah, let's go get him because he's going to make Russell Wilson better, right? They've never done that when he was there, and he was still able to win. But you go to the Denver Broncos, they already got a top 5 running game in the NFL. I think Javonte, what's his name? Javonte Williams, I believe. I believe he's going to be a top 5. Too. I believe he's still a free agent, so they haven't re-signed him back or anything, but I think they want to, but I think he wants double-digit money. I think he wants like 10 mil, 2 years, 10 mil, which I guess is fair because he was the second leading rusher, but Javonte Williams is going to be a top 5 running back, in my opinion, next year because they shored up their offensive line of free agency. And then you got a 3-headed monster at receiver that people don't really know who Cortland Sutton is, but he's like, he's going to have a big year, kind of like, he reminds me of not the same player, but the same situation as Stephon Diggs when he was in Minnesota. Nobody knew who that dude was. He makes one catch in the playoffs, and now he's like the best receiver. I think he's going to be up there. Then you got the young Alabama boy, Jerry Jeudy, probably top 10, top 7 route runners in the league right now as a second-year receiver. And then you got Tim Patrick, who's like 6'4". That dude runs like a 4.4. People don't know how fast he is. And Russell Wilson, what does Russell Wilson love to do? He loves to throw it deep, bro. He's gonna have guys deep all day long. It's gonna be like that meme when it's like, Tyreek Hill down there somewhere, Tim Patrick down there somewhere. He's just gonna be launching bitches. He's gonna have another DK Metcalf already in Tim Patrick. And I know he's probably gonna miss Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett is so unique
Yeah.
But I think
They got
Jr.
that cat Hamler that I like too.
And then I was just about to say, then they got the speed demon, then they got the 4-3 guy. So and he's a return guy, he's a special teams guy. So Russell Wilson has everything he's ever wanted in Denver right now. And I think they are the actual winners, but I think the Raiders are 1B because to get the best receiver in football, and then to get Chandler Jones, who has been averaging over 12 sacks for the last 5 years in the league, and he's been hurt. And he had, I think, 18 sacks last year. Then they got Max Crosby on the other side. I think they're going to get Davion Watt from Georgia right there in the first round. Right there in well, they probably not be able to get him.
No, they don't have a first round pick.
They don't have a first round pick, so they might not get him. But if they can shore up the interior defensive line, I think.
Now, you know who they added? They added my boy from the Bears, which I was pissed we didn't resign, which is Bilal Nichols, and I think he's going to go there. And have a really solid season.
For sure,
to help them out. Yeah, I agree with you that division. Where you had the Chargers, and they went and got another Bear and Khalil Mack, who's you put him on the same
and Allen Robinson
Allen Robinson is in Allen Robinson's in with the Rams.
Oh, Rams, my bad. Chargers, my bad. LA,
but he's in LA. But you got Khalil Mack on the same line with Bosa, which is ridiculous, and you got every level of that defense now is cold. So didn't they sign that corner to a lot of money too? Was that the corner that they signed?
I believe so.
From New England or whatever. I forget Buddy's name.
Oh, J.C. Jackson. Yeah, J.C. Jackson.
You know what I'm saying?
J.C.
So
Jackson.
And you got Derwin James back there. That team's nasty, and then like you said with the Chiefs, obviously. You know what I'm saying? The Chiefs who are the Chiefs now. I'm curious to see what happens with no Tyreek Hill, but I think you might see somebody else step in and follow suit. So I don't know, but that's interesting. Who did you thought had a bad offseason?
We were just talking about him. You were talking about Tyreek Hill. I think that was the worst trade I've seen in a long time. It just doesn't make sense for Miami. Okay. One of my hot takes that people get mad at me for is Tua's not a good quarterback. I'm sorry. Tua is like Teddy Bridgewater.
You're right.
Tua is a great game manager. He can game. He knows how to game, but he is not an NFL starter caliber to me. He had a track meet at Alabama. He had the best offensive line at Alabama. He had the best running game at Alabama, the best coach, the best fan. Then you go to Miami where it's not like that, bro. And then you just got rid of arguably one of their best coaches in the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
So now to me, it's like putting Tyreek Hill on the Dolphins is like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole, bro. It just doesn't fit. It won't work. Tyreek Hill is so fast. He's not going to be able to hit him like Patty did, bro. Yeah. It's not going to work like that. Now, what might work is a nice quick game, like a nice RPO quick game, get the ball into his hands, let him run. But teams are too smart. They're going to cover 9, cloud that, and you might be averaging 4 or 5 yards a pass. And last year, Tua only averaged 7.9 yards a pass, which is laughable if you're talking about an NFL quarterback, bro. That's like what my 6th graders throw that I coach here for Little League, bro. So it's like, I don't think Tua is the guy I don't think Tua is the right guy for that. He couldn't even get Jalen Waddle on one-on-one deep passes last year like that. So I just
he can only throw the ball 20 yards. He can only throw the ball 20 yards at a time.
That's what I'm saying, man. And that's and Tyreek Hill is not he's not a great route runner. Jalen Waddle, he's okay, but he's he's obviously a speed guy. They're both speed guys. And they got no size. They got rid of Devontae Parker, who's 6'3". And Preston Williams, he's okay, but he's got a lot of he drops. I think he had the most drops of any slot receiver last year. Like that's just not a good fit. But
I
they
do
do
like
have
the tight end.
I was just about to say that's their bright spot.
Yeah.
Mike Gesicki is reminds me of Travis Kelce. He just doesn't get the ball enough. And it's because his quarterback's not good enough.
Is it possible that we see, and I think he's above this, but we've seen wilder shit. Was Tyreek Hill possibly a product of his environment where you benefit from obviously Mahomes and you benefit from having Kelce on the field at the same time as you, where it's like, okay, it's be damned if you do, damned if you don't. You almost got to pick your poison. And a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, when you pick that one, it's going the other way.
Yeah.
I agree with you though. Like I said, I think Miami. I applaud the move, but then you didn't take into account the personnel. Like, had it been the Bears, where we got Justin Field that can launch that bitch 80 yards down the field,
that'd have been a home run. That'd have been a home run.
You know what I'm saying?
That'd have been a home run trade.
And then you have some, but like you said, with oh boy Tua, who I like Tua, but I don't like him to the fact of that being a good fit. And I think they got a good, they went and got some running backs that was, that'll help out. But I agree. I think that was kind of bad. I thought the Cowboys too, personally, I thought had a bad offseason where you got rid of Cooper, you lost Randy Gregory, who was a big part of your defense.
You lost La'el Collins.
La'el Collins on the line. Yeah, I think that was a big, that shocked me too, where I think Washington can maybe win that division this coming season.
I knew you was about to bring some bull. Look, no, Coach Taylor, I'm gonna tell you why he said that. Coach Taylor, because he knows I'm an Eagles fan, and he knows that I'm fucking he knows I'm psychotic about the Eagles fan, and he knows that the Washington Commanders just got Carson Wentz, so he's praying that Carson Wentz balls out.
I have no dog in the race. I like Washington's defense. I like the running game. I like the receivers they got, and I think Wentz, though he's not great, you look at the stats last year, he didn't play terrible. He wasn't
27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions.
He wasn't awful at all. I think he just adds a little more than what they had at the position last year. Obviously, I like Rivera as a coach. Now, like I told you, I also like Philly because I like Jalen Hurts more than most people do. Yeah. I think he definitely deserves a shot to see if you can roll with him. I think they could use some more help. I think they need another wide receiver, like a big, a big dude, a 6'3", 6'4" motherfucker that you can rely on. But I think they shocked everybody last year. I think they'll be better. I think, obviously when you have 2 first-round picks, you know what I'm saying, you can go out and get 2 guys that make an immediate impact. It wouldn't surprise me if they wanted either, but I just think, you're going to have old boy from Ohio State coming back for the Commanders. What's his name? Defensive lineman is a beast. Second-year guy from last year.
Chase Young.
Chase Young. He's coming back, you know what I'm saying, and they'll add more to it. So I think where the Cowboys had the chance to capitalize and they didn't, I think them teams is going to pass them by. And I'm curious to see what the Giants do. I like Dabble. That was who I was wanting the Bears to get. I want to see what he does, what he's able to do with what he has here, to see if it's really, because I don't think they've had a good coach in a while. And I think he brings more to the table than what they've had previously. Now, I'm not saying they're going to be, an 8, 9, 10 win team, but I think you can see some progress from that team that you haven't seen prior.
Man, let's just keep it real.
Yeah,
we know damn well the Cowboys are winning that division because they have to. Mike McCarthy knows if he don't, he's going to get fired, and they're going to hire old boy from New Orleans, Sean Payton. And that man, Jerry didn't want to give your ass that $37 million, but he gave it to you. So your black ass better do something next year, my dude. I promise you better do something. Don't fuck around when it comes to Jerry Jones, Because the nigga's bag is deep and long, and he'll go get Kyler Murray or somebody else he want because he's not gonna play with your ass. Zeke, take that fucking nose ring out and act like you got some fucking common sense. You ain't Ricky Williams, my nigga. Okay, you grew up in the fucking suburbs. You ain't Ricky Williams. Just run between the fucking tackles and quit fucking around. Pull your goddamn jersey pad down. We don't need to see your fucking navel either, nigga. Okay, I'm tired of all these Prince looking motherfuckers. Do you want to be Prince or be NFL player? What you want to be, motherfucker? Make up your fucking mind. This ain't the fucking Gap Band, my nigga. Okay? Play football. Shut the fuck up.
I think the two reasons you gave, one with I think they want Sean Payton, so I think it's even more of a reason why.
So Mike McCarthy gonna go out there and say, you know what? I know y'all want to get rid of me. Let me just go in this locker room.
It's not on Mike McCarthy. It's not on Mike McCarthy. They come out and have a bad season. That's more the reason to get rid of his ass and get the guy who you really wanted there, number one. Number two, when you talking about how they paid Dak Prescott, imagine had they waited. Now you had Deshaun Watson come in, get $230 million fully guaranteed. Now I've had this conversation. I said I think he's the exception to the rule. I don't think when you're about to see everybody is about to try to get, now every top 10 quarterback is trying to aim to get $250 million fully guaranteed money. But for a quarterback with leverage and negotiating room, if that comes out, and had he waited and said, okay, this motherfucker just got 230, and Jerry Jones said it himself. He's like, it's probably a good thing I signed Dak to the money that we gave him, because had this motherfucker came out later after this motherfucker got 230 million, now he could try to demand more money, and we got him where they got him. So the Cowboys could win it. Like, that division is wide open, I think. It wouldn't surprise me, but
let me just say three things about the Deshaun Watson thing, okay? Deshaun Watson, and has to you, Deshaun, he capitalized on the BLM movement. Because he's been ridiculed through the mud, he was able to throw that offer out there, and there was only one team stupid enough to match that. That would be the Cleveland Browns, who have a notorious history of fucking up at the quarterback position. So, I do like Deshaun Watson, but I don't like his black ass at $239 million guaranteed. Hell no, I don't like him that fucking much. This is still a business. So, he was able to capitalize on the Black Lives Matter movement. That's what that was about. The third thing, the most important thing, because Jerry Jones is having to pay off those girls for the vice president who was peeping Tomlin on their ass, there was no way he could get caught in bed with Deshaun Watson, because you already fighting lawsuits for a dude who you refused to fire. Now you gonna bring over a nigga who is getting a little extra rubbing up. That ain't gonna happen. Jerry understands business all too well. Every sponsor he got would have said, look, Jerry, we'll defend you behind the white boy, but you gonna bring a nigga in here who got some shit on his jacket and give him $230 million? We about to get your ass up out of here. There's no way Jerry Jones to go down that rabbit hole. You got to pick your fire. You got to pick your poison. And I like Deshaun Watson, but I disagree with you, Coach Rob. I don't think he's worth $239 million. Here's why. Ain't no quarterback worth that, because anybody ever got that before. If they was worth that, it wouldn't be a precedent he said it. Because tell me something. Brady, all the money he made, he had to earn it. It wasn't 100% fully guaranteed. All that bullshit Aaron Rodgers be on, that's the last motherfucker I would ever want to see negotiate a contract. Speaking of Aaron Rodgers, I guarantee that dumb shit the Packers did with him and dividing the team, giving them that money, will backfire on them. They'll win 13 games or run away with the damn NFC North or whatever the division is that we are fans of, Nate. And then they'll get to the playoffs and they'll have a home game. And Aaron and all his old ass receiver buddies will stink up the joint. They will stink up the joint. And the Packers should have seen this coming, that game, when they played the Saints early in the season. They should have said, this is what his career will start looking like once more and more teams figure out what he truly, truly is. That was a classic. This is where he's headed. Now, he might not be there yet, but the way he let Jameis Winston come in there and just dominate him, there's no way.
Oh, so Aaron Rodgers. Oh, so Aaron Rodgers plays corner. I forgot. Aaron Rodgers plays offensive line too.
Here we go with the excuses. Aaron Rodgers and LeBron James, they're guilty of the same things, Nate. Aaron Rodgers and LeBron James are guilty of the same things. They want all this power on their team, and you give it to them. You give them the players they want. He wanted Randall. He wanted Jordan. He wanted and then they get to the playoffs, or they don't make the playoffs in LeBron's case, and then it's somebody else's fault. Which one is it, Nate? If you're the fucking goat at your position, my nigga, everything not going to be in your favor, Coach Rob. At some point, you're going to have to say, you know what? Some things aren't stacked for me to win. I got to go make it happen. Brady played with a goddamn torn meniscus and MCL all season. But he made the shit happen in the Super Bowl because he realized that Tampa Bay put their whole hopes on his shoulders. He had Antonio Brown stand with him because he realized Bruce Arians don't want you here, but I do. So I got to make that sacrifice of my family to make sure your ass stay out of trouble. And then what did Brady do? He left the Bucs. And what did the owners do? Say, God damn, that was quick. And then what did Brady do? Pick up the phone and say, look, you want me to come back? Put Bruce ass upstairs, man. Bruce can't be dividing the team like this no more. And what Brady do? He said, I'll come back. And then what Bruce do? Took his old ass upstairs, man. Brady is the fucking GOAT. If Brady ain't got $230 million guaranteed, then don't talk to me about nobody else ever getting that. As good as Deshaun Watson is, how many Super Bowls? How many playoff wins? Okay. Have fun rubbing, tugging on them hood bitches in Cleveland, Deshaun. Good luck with that. They won't report you, but they're going to start the fuck out of your ass. Good luck, my nigga.
Nate.
All right, the draft. Coach Rob, draft is next. No, 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks from now.
Yep.
Like you said, your Eagles got 2 first-round picks. I want to say there's 8 teams in this draft with 2 first-round
multiple picks, yeah.
Where we've never seen that before.
Most ever.
You've also never seen. I don't think you've ever seen a draft with a on paper receiver depth like there is. They're talking about, Mel Kiper, I think, had 7 receivers going in his first round in his mock draft. It's deep on offensive line. It's deep on a lot of different positions. Let's start here. Who would you, if you had the number 1 pick, I'm going to go 2 questions. Number 1 pick, who should Jacksonville take? And then also, who is the best player in this draft class, in your opinion? Not necessarily who's going to go number 1, or maybe the number 1 that is going to go number 1 is your best player in the draft.
So if I was Jacksonville, you got to go offensive line. You have to. I think their defensive line's gonna be okay. They got Josh Allen over there. They got the kid from Penn State. I think that's a good way to start, because everything starts up front, right? I mean, if you look at Trevor Lawrence last year, I thought he played terrible, but I think he was way too fidgety. Their left and right tackles were probably the worst in the league. So what's his name? I think it's like Mbiku, I think is his name. You got to go with him, or you got to go Charles Cross from Kentucky, because you got to shore up your offensive line with a guy like Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence needs to feel protected. If he doesn't feel protected, he starts throwing interceptions. He starts just releasing the ball at bad times, making bad decisions, and putting his body at risk because he just wants to take off and run. And Trevor Lawrence is just that kind of tough person to just put his helmet down and try to get extra yards and do all that other fancy shit. But I think Doug Peterson, being Jacksonville's head coach, he's going to start to form kind of what he was trying to do with Carson Wentz in Philadelphia. He's going to build up the offensive line. He's going to build up the defensive line. And then he's going to get 1 stud corner, probably in a trade. And then they're going to be right. They're going to be right there in that division, because now that division to me is wide open, the AFC South, right? But yeah, that's who I would take if I was Jacksonville. I know, what's his name? Kavion. That's his name, right?
Thibodeau.
I think everybody's like that. He should go number 1, or Aiden Hutchinson from Michigan should go number 1. But it should be Jacksonville needs to go with the best pick for them, not who's the best player at number 1. But to me, the best player in this draft to me is hands down Ahmad Sauce Gardner.
Thank you.
From motherfucking
Thank you.
Listen, man.
The man never allowed a fucking touchdown.
He's playing basically the fucking FCS. Cincinnati's in that trash division in America. Oh my God.
He had to play Alabama, didn't he?
Oh my God. One time.
Yes, he did.
One time in his career. One time in his career.
And he didn't give up a touchdown. And he didn't give up a touchdown against Alabama. He didn't give up a touchdown.
One time in his career. One time.
Let me tell you why. I'm going to tell you why he's the best player in the draft, right? Because number 1, do you know how hard it is to play corner? It's like
you're playing on the island. Of course, you're playing on the island. Yeah.
To me, it's the hardest position in football. I know people say quarterback, but quarterback, you just got to be smart. You don't even have to have elite arm strength to be a starting quarterback. Tua, Teddy Bridgewater, Jared Goff, a bunch of dudes.
Justin Fields. Go ahead.
but
That's a complete wrong statement. That nigga has arms. Shut the fuck up. Keep going, Coach Rob. Nigga started some shit. Didn't even give us facts. Keep going. Sorry he interrupted.
But look, Sauce Gardner is 6'2". He's 207. His cone, if you watch, just go back and watch. Go back and watch the combine, bro. Like, you don't see shit. You don't see shit like that and go, oh, that's just eye test. No, this dude has intangibles. This dude had a 4.0, so he's smart. He's a smart guy, right? He's got range. He has hands. He can tackle. He can tackle on the perimeter by himself. He doesn't need a defensive lineman tripping up a dude and then him come cleaning up. No, he lays big hits. He's interchangeable. He's a former linebacker, so he understands the box. He understands zones. He understands where he needs to be. And that's why he was the best to me. He was the best corner last year, and he was the best corner the year before. This dude, he's the highest rated corner other than Deion Sanders. If you're talking about leading up to a draft, his draft grades are Deion Sanders-like, just coverage-wise though, because to me, he's more physical than Deion. Deion wasn't a physical guy. We all know that. He was finesse. He was smart. He break on the ball. Gardner's got that. He breaks on the ball better than any corner in this draft, even though I really like Trent McDuffie from Washington because he's 5'11", so he's smaller, compact, but he's tough. He hits, but there is no corner in the draft right now that's even close to him. It's Sauce Gardner, and then it's like a big drop off. Then it's like Trent McDuffie and the kid Andrew Booth Jr. and Kyer Elam from Florida, right?
You like Stingley at LSU?
I'm sorry.
You like Stingley at LSU?
My only worry with him is that he didn't play. He's coming off an ACL and he didn't play. But when he did play, he was the best. He was the best corner, right? Like he was probably 1A to Sauce Gardner.
Right.
But to me, I'm just too impressed. I could be wrong, right? He could suck, right? He could be the worst bust first round corner ever, but I don't see it happening because to me, if Trayvon Diggs is having success with the Cowboys and the Cowboys have like literally one of the worst pass defenses ever, this dude would be a 100% upgrade from any corner other than Jalen Ramsey. To me,
Coach
right
Taylor,
now.
You seem to disagree. Who do you think, not who you would pick for, who is the best player in this draft according to you? Because you laughed at the sentiment that he was the best.
All right. Coach Rob, I ain't trying to disrespect you at all. The fact that we're saying that Sauce Gardner is the best player in this draft, okay? A cornerback who played at a non-Power 5 school, okay, is the best player in this draft. You know what that tells me? This draft class is fucking weak as shit. That's what it tells me. Because anytime we're not telling me that one of the guys that played at a P5 school is the best player in the draft class, and we're not talking about a quarterback, come on, man. What are we talking about? Like, I like Sauce Gardner, too. He's from the D just like me. I like Sauce Gardner. But Sauce Gardner himself will tell his closest peers, I shouldn't be the best player in this draft. I mean, I'm the best corner. But if I'm the best player in this draft, this class is weak, man. So to me, it really don't matter who you take or where they go, because I think this class is going to let a lot of people down. And because I'm a Lions fan, Coach Rob, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you who messed up Sauce Gardner going number one. Jeff Okudah's trash ass. Because when the Lions took him so high, that's going to make Jacksonville and all the other teams say, we got to pump the brakes here, man. Because, and they would tell you, I didn't like Okudah. I didn't like him at Ohio State. You talk about guys being a product of where they come from, best coaches, best players, all the hype. Who did he have to guard at Ohio State? All the best players on his fucking team. You see what I'm saying? So I never liked Okudah. I thought he went way too high, but because of his bust label, nobody's going to take Sauce that high. Now, to me, when you talk about players in this class, that's what I'm saying, man. This class is so trash to me. I don't think there is a number one player. I think that they're all really close. I don't think there is a number one player. I mean, come on, man. Let's be real. The best player in college football is who? Bryce Young. But he can't come to the draft. Let's just keep it a whole buck. The best player in college football is at Alabama waiting his time.
I say it's between him and that running back at was it Texas or Oklahoma? One of the running backs in the Big 12 is unreal. I want to say it's the dude at Texas.
That's a dime a dozen. You know, them dudes come and go. You know, like I said, the best player in college football is Bryce Young. So everybody else in this draft class, have fun. But as soon as Bryce Young gets drafted,
you don't have a definitive draft player. You just think it's a weak class.
Because this is why. When you look at Thibodeau, you get enamored with the body, right? The specimen.
No, I get enamored with 16 sacks. That's what I get enamored with.
Hang on. But then you figure out, he don't really like football. He just plays it because, he's been told to play it. So he ain't got no heart. So he's going to let you down. Okay, get him up out here.
And he's been sliding.
Exactly. Then you see all the hype and all the, because let's not forget, America loves a white boy. So you got to fall in love with Hutchinson, right? But then you watch him play against Georgia and get thrown around like a little rag doll. And you got to be like, wait a minute now. Are there more kids in the NFL that come out of the Georgias of the world or out of the Marylands, the Penn States of the world?
Coach, let's stay there for a second because I want to ask Coach Rob this because I am one too who thinks Aiden Hutchinson is overrated. Now,
yes.
Admittedly, I'm not somebody who can break down film and watch football film and tell you the intricacies like you can. Mm-hmm. So what do you see out of him? Where is he worth taking number one? Is he worth taking up that high? Because like I said, where I watched that Georgia game, I didn't hear his name. And if I got a guy that's number one, like I'll tell you who I was impressed with all the playoff, who like to me, I would have thought like just from my eyes of watching football, I'd say he would be a top guy is Nakobe Dean. And he's somebody that I saw go from sideline to sideline, chase catch down. You always heard his name. And then when they played Georgia, Michigan did, you didn't hear nothing about Aiden Hutchinson. So I want to know what, like, as far as critiquing, and looking at the film, what do you think of him as a prospect? So
the comparison is obviously to another white boy, JJ Watt. Yeah. That's who they compare him to, right? That's his draft comparison. And the reason why is because he did make a lot of plays, not only rushing the passer, but he was like, his run stop grade was like 85.9. And that's super high for a team like Michigan that runs like they run like a multiples look. So he's kind of everywhere, right? He could be a nose one play. He could be an end. He could be a 5 technique on the next play. He could be an outside linebacker on another. So I think that's why his draft buzz is so big, and because he's so versatile and he's quick. But Aiden Hutchinson doesn't have good hands right now. I'm not saying that he can't develop them because Nick Bosa, he had trouble with his hands, but he could still get sacks because he's explosive. He comes off the edge. He's got speed. Aiden Hutchinson doesn't have speed. He's got power, but just he doesn't have good hands. So like that's why you didn't hear his name against Georgia. Georgia's offensive line, all them dudes are going to get drafted. Like all them dudes are going to the league within like the second to like fourth round. That's really good for an offensive lineman. Like you don't get a whole bunch of like tackles in the first round. That drop off is huge, right? Because it's usually like the first 10 picks, you'll get like 3 offensive linemen, and then you won't get another offensive lineman until like the 22nd pick, 25th pick, going into the second round and on, right? So if you go back and watch that game against Georgia, Aiden Hutchinson, his specialty is push and pull. He wants to use your weight against you, and then he wants to throw you because he is strong, but his hands just aren't quick enough. Because as soon as he got inside on offensive linemen, especially from Georgia, I mean, they would just rip him once and then they get their hands on him, and then he's stuck, right? Or he's bunched up between him and that nose tackle. So like, he is to me a little overrated. I think he should still go in the first round based off of his production, where he can line up and what he could do. He doesn't have the speed or good hands, but he's got good feet. He's got a good bend. And that's why they compare him to JJ Watt, because JJ Watt, when he came out, everybody knew him for that bend and his power, just his power. But JJ Watt's always had good hands and all that other shit. But that's the reason why I think that they're thinking about taking him number one. Jacksonville's thinking about taking him. Your squad coach Taylor's thinking about taking him at number two, maybe.
It's because we have a white coach.
I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, man. Like if you can get a guy that's 6'5", at about 260 and has that kind of bend and that kind of power, I think you take him. But he's definitely overrated. He should not be a first. He shouldn't be a top 5 pick. He should be
a guy
in the mid rounds.
A guy that's getting a lot of buzz, and I've heard his name as potential number one is that guy from Georgia, Walker.
Trayvon Walker.
Trayvon Walker. What is your assessment of him?
He's like a mix. He's like a mix between like Akeem Nicks or Hicks. Akeem Nicks or Hicks. He's like a mix between him and let's see, who can I say? I don't want to say Aaron Donald because there's literally nothing like him ever, and there's never going to be anything nothing like him. I'd probably say like him and who can I put out there that's like decent? Like a Vita Vea from Tampa Bay.
Now he looks from the tape. He looks a lot more explosive than the two guys you named.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, but watch Vita Vea though. Vita Vea is 320, but when he comes off the ball, bro, it looks like remember Trent Cole? I don't know if you remember Trent Cole or Rasheem Mathis. Guys like that, like a DeMarcus Ware type of explosion, right? Yeah, but Trayvon's another guy that you can move in any spot on that defensive line.
Okay.
Like he's a true nose tackle, but he's fast enough to put him at an end. He's fast enough to go down the line of scrimmage quick enough, like on a sweep or on a stretch play. He's quick enough to do that type of stuff. But yeah, I definitely think he's better than Aiden Hutchinson. I think Davion Watt is better than Aiden Hutchinson, and he's just a big human. He's like you, Nate, but he's like he runs a 4.8. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he's insane and he's insanely powerful. But Trayvon Walker, that he's a little different. You can move him across the defensive line, and you can put him in any scheme. You can put him in a 3-3 stack, you can put him in a 4-3, you can put him in a 3-4 hybrid, you can put him in a 4-4 stack, whatever you want. And ask him to play anywhere and he'll do it. And he's smart, and he's hella smart. Watch their game against South Carolina, and it's literally just like a man playing with like freshman boys. He just was throwing guys left and right. He knows how to use his arms in traffic. A lot of guys like him, they get caught in that mesh, and they just think if they put their hands on somebody they can move them. But nah, he literally moves guys and causes gaps and just wide open gaps. And I mean, he led the FCS in tackles for loss. I mean, dude is just insane. He didn't have the sack numbers like that, right? But I mean, he was also playing next to Davion Watt though, who's
Coach Taylor. Who's your favorite prospect? Like you said, you got a high pick. Who's your favorite prospect where you would be the most comfortable with the line? And give us somebody, because I know how you don't like the class, but give us somebody who you have some level of confidence in, where if the Lions took them at 2,
trade the damn pick and go get a veteran somewhere. I wouldn't take none of these motherfuckers at 2. Yeah, that's why I was so mad that they didn't try to do that, because I remember I was calling on our podcast before Deshaun Watson went to court. Yes. I said it's been a year. If it was something, they would have had him. So Detroit should be calling Houston saying, "Look, we'll take the gamble right now, knowing that he's got to go to court in a couple of days. We'll trade you this pick right now for him," without knowing how it turns out. But I was very confident that it wouldn't take a whole year if he was truly guilty of something. I was upset. I thought Detroit could have got the quarterback of the future with that pick, because I don't think that there's anybody Detroit could take that is going to make sense for both the here and the future. I think you're just going to get more of a stopgap guy because I don't care what anybody says, man. You got to do something with the Cuda. I mean, he didn't look good when he was healthy. Then he gets hurt, and it's just like, okay, well, come on, man. Like, you got to do something there. But would you really go and take Sauce with the number 2? I mean, you already got clown for that once. Like, to me, that's just a huge gamble. And there's no quarterback that you could say, okay, like, I mean, I like Malik. I like Malik Willis. I like him.
Yeah.
But are you really going to go take that kid at 2? I mean, he only played at Liberty, man. I mean, you take a dude at 2. All I'm saying is he better be swinging that rock. He better be Lamar Jackson outside the pot. He better give you something because the last thing you need to do, to Coach Ross' point, is take a guy at 2, and he's like Tua, can only throw the ball 15, 20 yards at a time. I mean, bro, we got NFL receivers 50, 60 yards down the field. You know what I'm saying? And you telling me all you can throw is hit routes? My goodness, man. So to me, for the Lions, they got to trade out of that spot. Let me tell you something. Watch the movie Draft Day with Kevin Costner. What he did and how many picks he got, that's an incredible story. That's what the Lions got to do. Trade out of the spot, get multiple picks. Why do you take multiple picks, Big Nate? Because if you fuck up, the odds of the flock are better when you got 3 or 4 kids to choose from. You only need to hit on one of them. But if you take one of them and he don't hit, it's going to be like, here we go, same old Lions. And I wanted to say this earlier, Coach Rob. The Lions and Lakers got the same problem. Their owners, female. Sheila Ford Kemp owns the Lions because her parents have passed away and moved it to her. Her husband has something to do with it a little bit. He's not a Ford originally, but he married into the money. And very nice lady, very sentiment lady. Nothing wrong with ladies in sports. You know, I'm not a sexist. I mean, we want all women to be equals. Absolutely. But if you don't know what the fuck you're doing, that's not me being sexist. That's just me saying you're not the most qualified person for this job. I mean, I love Michelle Obama, but I don't want to see her at McDonald's bagging up the hot fries. You know what I mean? Like, she's
I want to see that. Hold up.
So I mean, come on, man. Like, that's just not. We got an issue, just like the Lakers. We have a person that's ruling with emotion.
Not quickly to end it. Give me your top quarterback prospect and your top wide receiver prospect.
All right. Top quarterback prospect, easily Malik Willis, man. I don't want to listen. Liberty is a school. Liberty plays football. Mm-hmm. Malik Willis plays for Liberty, and he throws the ball. If he knows how to do that at every level, I know y'all saw his pro day. I know you guys saw him launch at 80 yards with the flick of a wrist. I know you guys saw him throw out routes, which is one of the most important routes in the league right now. We saw him throw back shoulder fades. We saw him throw RPO slants. We saw him throw outs. We saw him throw quick flat routes, rub routes.
And to be clear, not to interrupt you, but he was was he an Auburn commit, or he was a big time commit prior to going to Liberty?
Yeah, somewhere. and the reason he didn't go to Auburn is because he wasn't gonna play. He wasn't gonna play. So I don't fault him for going to Liberty, and now look where he's at. Because in my opinion, he should have been a little bit closer to the Heisman, to me, because he's a little bit better as far as throwing the ball than Louisville Lamar Jackson. Because Louisville Lamar Jackson made a lot of bad decisions, but he can make up for it because he can get out of there and he ran a 4.2. Right. You know what I'm saying? But to me, he's the best quarterback. Kenny Pickett from Pittsburgh is like a strong second. But he just doesn't have the athletic ability that Malik does. And he's not as accurate. Malik Willis completed like 72% of his passes, bro. That's fucking nuts. I don't care if you're at Metro throwing that, bro. That's insane. You know how hard it is? 72%. Like, that shit's nuts.
Yeah.
So, Malik Willis probably my top prospect. This might shock some people, but I think this dude is the most complete receiver, and I think he's going to be the better one coming out of this draft. People don't have him projected as the best, but I think Drake London from USC is going to have the highest ceiling, and he's going to have the best opportunity to make an impact right away, right? Chris Olave, these dudes are just so little, man. They're so little, but they're so quick, and they can route run with the best of them. Now, we went and got Devontae Smith last year, right, for the Eagles.
Little guy.
I'm not gonna lie. I did not want him at first. Right. I did not want him. I said, that dude's a $175.
Yeah. And now you love him.
Yeah, nah, he's not gonna make it. He caught that first pass in Atlanta, his first catch for that touchdown. I said, okay, never mind. this dude's got it because he's a route runner and he's tough. So he can take hits and he ain't gonna fucking get up hurt all the time. But Drake London's probably my top guy. And then Chris Olave is probably, or Garrett Wilson actually is probably better, only because he's a smidge taller and he's a $180 and Chris Olave is a $170. So that's literally the only reason why I think Garrett Wilson is going to be a little bit better. But my dark horse pick, not a lot of people know about this dude, Sky Moore. Sky Moore is like Steve Smith to me, but he's fast. He's faster. His route running right now, for him to be a college guy, to have route running like that, yeah, go look up his tape. Just go get on YouTube and look up like best of Sky Moore, and you're gonna see this dude losing dudes. I'm talking about like the dude will do the rope-a-dope. Like you know how receivers are doing now. They're like, shotgunning their feet and taking off up the sideline and cutting that bitch off. Sky Moore is like the best receiver in the draft at doing that. But yeah, I think Drake London, that's who I want the Eagles to get. And I hope he's there because that's who they need to pick up.
Right. He's a big, strong receiver.
But yeah. I'm scared though. I'm going to tell you why, Nate. I'm scared because the Eagles are notorious. Look, Devontae Smith was a home run, right? But before that, we drafted Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
Then we drafted J.J. Arcega-Whiteside over D.K. Metcalf the year before. So I'm just like nervous about, not specifically Drake London, but I'm just scared that like, we'll pick him and then he's just J.J. Arcega-Whiteside again.
Okay.
But I don't know. That's J.J. Arcega-Whiteside was a third, second round pick. And this dude, Drake London, his catch radius is crazy. I mean, I think he had 14 scores at USC, had 3 different quarterbacks. So that lets me know he can play with anybody. Yeah. So yeah, those are probably my two top prospects.
Okay. Well, with that being said, we'll end the NFL. With our guests, we've only had one guest prior to you, so you're our second guest. But what we are going to be doing is we ask each guest, we give them rewrite sports history. So what I want you to do is take one moment in sports that the outcome was one outcome, and I want you to rewrite the outcome of that moment. It could be however you want to do it. It could be an injury, it could be a play, it could be a series of events, or whatever it was. Rewrite the script of that particular moment in sports history. What would yours be?
I really thought about this one a lot because there's so many sports like moments that I look back and I go, fuck, like I just wonder what would happen. My biggest one though, and I can't stop thinking about this, my second favorite player ever is Allen Iverson. I love AI. I didn't have enough hair to get cornrows when I was a kid, but I tried. I wanted my sister to give me cornrows because I wanted to be like AI, look like AI. I had all his headbands. I had the AI twos. I know a lot of people don't know about them, but them all silver joints, I had them. I would rewrite the 2001 finals. I'm a Laker fan. I love the Lakers, but I would have really loved to see AI just get one, bro. He was just one of them dudes that really, really deserved to just get one. Scoring titles, MVP, just what he did for basketball, bro. He made the league what it is now. He made dudes comfortable with being who they are and dressing how they want, even though dudes might show up in dresses. Whatever. Hey, AI made that shit. You can do whatever you want. And just so I just wish that he would have just got one. Just got one ring. Just one.
That's dope because I also think had he got one, I think his perception just amongst the league, because he was kind of the outcast of the league. They enforced the dress code because of AI, the way he was treated at the end of his career, where they moved him to Memphis and then, he could still play it anymore. But I just think that one ring would have solidified him more in the eyes of the collective of the league.
Yeah.
He would have got a little more respect towards the end of his career instead of how he went out. And like I said, where they was trying to bring him off the bench and do all this and, kind of kind of like how Melo was trending towards, you know what I'm saying? And then he, you know, kind of flipped it around. But that's very interesting because I think I've never ran into somebody from any era, I mean, from that era of basketball that watched basketball. Matter of fact, I can't think of anybody that I've ever known really that to tell me they don't like Iverson. Like, there's a lot of people that don't like Jordan. There's a lot of people that don't like LeBron. There's a lot of people that don't like a lot of niggas in the game.
Everybody
But
loves
really think
AI.
about that kid. Have you ever heard of somebody ever say they didn't like Iverson?
Yeah.
I really can't think of somebody that never say that they didn't like Iverson. Everybody loved AI. So that's very interesting. I've never thought of that from that standpoint, especially against that team too, where had he gotten with that team that he had against the team that he was going against, that would have been even more crazy to think about. Just the fact that he got that one game was unbelievable. But yeah, you talk about getting 4.
Yeah,
that would have been nuts. And I know Coach Taylor, that's your man. AI,
my favorite player.
Yeah, what do you think of that?
You know, AI my favorite player. So
Right.
I mean, you know, he made it cool for guys like me that were under 6 foot to score that thing. So, you know, my hat's off to AI. I probably don't earn a scholarship to go to college if he doesn't, you know, have the success that he had, and if John Thompson had a belief in him to do that. So I'm completely fine with that.
Right.
100%. I'm 100% on board with that.
Yeah, that's dope. That's a good one.
Love the answer, man.
Yeah. Well, Coach Rob, we appreciate you being on, man. We'll have to have you back in the future, man. We love the analysis. You got the in-depth information on the NFL. We'll have to have you come back after the draft so you can analyze the draft for us.
Yeah, you already know. Just hit me up. I'll be around.
You got any socials you want to plug? Anything, you know, social media things?
Yeah, man.
What you got going on in CR with your coaching, anything like that you want to put out there?
Yeah, man. I mean, right now, you know, I'm coaching varsity girls soccer at Jefferson. We got a super young team. We got some dogs, some freshmen. So if you guys want to come out to a game, you guys can hit up the crschools.us, look up schedules. You guys can find a schedule there, come out, support us. One of our games, we got the NFL, the Eastern Iowa Flag NFL League here taking place in Cedar Rapids. We'll have a camp this year. We had Tyreek Hill come the last 2 times. I think it's going to be somebody different this year. So, I mean, you can get information on that at easterniowaflagfootball.com. Shoot, man, you could follow me on Twitter. Kent Clark 92. You can follow me on Instagram, Coach Rob 92. Yeah, man, that's really it, man.
All right, man. We appreciate you being on. Coach Taylor, you got any picks and information for us tonight on that?
I don't have any picks for today's games. It's just the 2 playing games, but you know, you can check us out at chalkandturn.com, and we'll have some stuff for you going forward. Just before we go, I want to update everybody. Like I said, my man Trae Young came to life, baby. 37-9. Hawks walked out of there with a victory tonight on the road to Cleveland. Came back from 11 down.
So that puts them as the
8th seed, so they'll play Miami.
They got Miami first round.
And he might lose the series, but he is gonna dog Kyle Lowry.
I don't know, bro.
He is gonna dog Kyle Lowry. He is gonna dog Kyle Lowry.
That might be a game 7.
Is it going game 7? Coach Rob? Hey! let's get to Trae Young. You know what? Trae Young is the closest thing in the league to Allen Iverson since Allen Iverson. He's the closest thing. When you think about how small he is, how he trendsetted the game. No. I'm not talking about his play style. I'm talking about it's Trae. I met Trae Young in person when he was at EYBL. I saw him and Michael Porter together. He is only legit 5'10", bro. Legit with shoes, 5'10".
Yeah.
I mean, and he has to have an incredible amount of range, change of pace, vision. It would be very easy, just like it would have been for every coach, to write AI off because of his size and to want to make them to a John Stockton type point guard, right? Because they're so small. Lon Kruger could have easily said, you know what? I don't want you to come here and pull 30 foot. I want you to be John Stockton. And because they let those little dudes be who they are, you see the fruits of the labor paying off is all I'm saying. Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of the Real Spill Sports Podcast. I said, I'm Big Nate, Coach Taylor, Coach Rob. We appreciate y'all coming through. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Stay black, stay sexy.
Yep.